All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our stream. Today's gonna be a big day for the entire crypto space. We're gonna talk about why that's the case here in a minute. We're gonna talk about a big crypto airdrop that's coming up. I'm super excited to talk about. This is the season of airdrops, and you gotta pay attention to everything I'm talking about in these streams on a day-to-day basis, because that's how you get ahead and position yourself for these. So I'm talking about that in this video. We're going to check on the crypto markets, answer some of your questions, see what's trending on chain right now, and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. On this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Technically, we got Madison, Rodrigo, Tebo, hope I'm saying that right, Tebow, Bruno, Sarthak, you got Automatic Beats, Ryan, Lee, Landon, Dale, THX like this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about crypto airdrop coming up. Okay, so right now is airdrop season, and I have to just like preface this because I've been talking about this for months on this channel, and we've seen a lot of big crypto airdrops happen lately. We just saw the Optimism airdrop announcement. I've been making videos about that, showing you how to do this before the airdrop, so it's really critical that you like watch it and just do it, because like literally if you just watch a video, do exactly what I tell you to, there's a high likelihood that you will get paid to do that. So you can think about like it's like a web 3.0 experience, like get paid to watch YouTube. So anyways, so let's talk about airdrops. So basically, what's going on in the crypto space is you've got all these applications that are launching tokens for governance tokens for their projects. Basically, anything that doesn't have a token yet, probably going to have a token at some point. And if you go use that stuff before they announce their token, then you're likely going to get a large reward. And so we saw with the Optimism airdrop recently, they're still having ongoing rewards, even for people who missed out in that first airdrop. But we're starting to see this ramp up. Okay, lots of people realize that it's token time. So let's talk about another one that is likely going to come out soon. Okay, so let's talk about Hop Protocol. All right, building their community bridge. All right, so you kind of have to read between the lines on this, but that's exactly what I'm helping you do in this video. So basically, Hop Protocol announced that they are launching a community-led bridge. First of all, what is Hop? So Hop is basically a protocol that lets you get on and off of different layer 2s and blockchains faster. Okay, so with things like optimistic rollups, you have this extended withdrawal time. So basically, if you get onto an optimistic rollup chain, many times it takes like several days for your transaction to get finally confirmed to get off. So Hop lets you bypass that. And of course, there's an extra bridge, is an extra trust assumption in that case, but it gives you that convenience. There's some trade-off, but that's the convenience. So what's going on with the airdrop here? So if you read this blog post, like there's no actual announcement of an airdrop, right? They're not saying, hey, we're launching a token, but they're probably launching a token. So why? Like, why am I making that inference here? So basically, we're talking about creating their community bridge and handing it over to the community. This is a really common strategy where basically something starts out on blockchain. It's very centralized. It's got like admin keys. They're like creating this thing without a token. And the whole idea is to get people to use it before, and get it working before they kind of expand into a more decentralized model. And part of the thing that accompanies that decentralized model is decentralized governance, a way for people to have skin in the game and vote on what happens with it. And that basically is where tokens come into play. So basically launching governance tokens that get airdropped to people in that space. And then, basically like free crypto for people who use that before they announce their token. Now, with the Hop Protocol, we don't exactly know what's going to happen. Was there a cutoff for using this prior to today, or is it too late? Well, there's a few thoughts on that. We could have sort of this Easter egg that they're doing. They're gonna hand the keys over to the community, okay, before they officially say that they're gonna do something like a token, and then that could potentially like spike a bunch of people to use the protocol to try to get eligibility before they do the airdrop. So, if you haven't used Hop Protocol yet, you could still have a chance at, becoming eligible for this before they take a snapshot and do an airdrop. All right. As always, there's always risk involved with using type of stuff. So if you're going to do that, you gotta do it with the amount of money you're comfortable with losing. Don't do it with a wallet that you've got to, could be compromised with expensive JPEGs in it or anything like that. Right. So, you could be eligible because they haven't declared a snapshot yet, haven't declared a cutoff. They haven't actually announced any official token drop yet. And this could be the type of situation where, there's a new business model for airdrops, or a new, I guess you won't call it a business model because it's a decentralized protocol, but, a new playbook, I should say, for airdropping tokens, which is this initial snapshot of users who you front weight the rewards to, who are early adopters, and then we have this ongoing thing. That's what Optimism has pioneered, and I expect lots of people to copy that playbook going forward. So there could be a chance, even if they take that snapshot prior to yesterday when they announced this, that you could still have some future eligibility. So definitely something you want to watch out for. Now, the last big important thing here is say even if you just completely miss out on this hop protocol, because I have talked about this application, not like all the time in the live streams, but I've mentioned it several times. I've demonstrated how to use it. Okay. Well, the other big takeaway from this is like, basically, I've tried to help you all see the strategy for getting eligibility to these airdrops. I mean, sometimes, you can get rewards of like $10,000 or more, okay, for doing this. I've been a multi-time airdrop recipient. That's happened to me on many occasions, okay? Big airdrops, EMS, 1inch, Uniswap, so many more, right? And so basically, like, the strategy is using stuff and using a lot of things, because you don't know exactly which one's going to take off or how eligible you're going to be. But, like, it's all going to cost a little bit of money, but the whole point is that you're spreading bets across multiple things, and one of them's probably going to take off, and you're going to get, rewarded for doing that. And so that's what I've tried to help, people see on this channel, and like expose lots of potential candidates for that. You can definitely check out the video I put out recently, like going through a massive list of things and the applications and what they are, how to use them. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. There's a lot of upside potential, especially right now when things are kind of boring in crypto space, or when the markets facing a lot of headwind like they are now. Like, this is a pretty amazing kind of thing to get excited about while everybody else is watching their portfolios drop. Let's see here. Somebody says ZK Sync and Starknet. Yeah, quite potentially. There's so many, that's the crazy thing is, we're starting to see, layer 2 adoption continue to take off, and there's so many different layer 2s that could potentially do an airdrop. And so probably one of the easiest plays is to just like use those things. Okay, so let's look at somebody said, Elon pumping apes, the ones who need it the least. Let's actually check on that. So we did see some drama this morning from Elon Musk. Let's see here. See if he still has it. So Elon Musk basically changed his changed his Twitter profile to some bored apes, and the ape price went up significantly, and then it fell pretty fast too after he says, I don't know, it seems kind of fungible. So I have a feeling he was like trolling the apes. Like, I have a feeling he was like saying, look, I can just right click save and then put a whole bunch of bored apes into one profile picture, and now look, I have like a multi-million-dollar profile picture, and that they all kind of look the same, and so that's why he thinks it seems kind of fungible. So I don't know. I think he's trolling. He likes to troll. Um, so yeah, what more interesting news on the Elon front? We've been talking about Elon Musk buying Tesla, what that could mean for Web 3.0. All right, definitely the desire to open source the Twitter algorithm, which is definitely a Web 3.0 value. I don't think we're moving in the direction of putting all our tweets on a blockchain. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But a move towards transparency with the Twitter algorithm is a significant step in the right direction and sort of opens the world up to the idea of what Web 3.0 values can be with a premium like major player. Okay, so we did see news that Elon plans to still planning to do this, but per the report I saw yesterday, I believe, is that he is planning on taking it's not Tesla, taking Twitter public again after he makes the company private. So I think the goal is make Twitter a private company, work on it, grow it to where it's like this new leader that's making a lot more money than it is now, and then go public again. So, but part of that journey of before making it go public is, because think about it this way. What is he doing? He's basically saying, like, we want to create something that's more valuable than it is now, so that we can buy it at a cheaper price, or I can buy it at a cheaper price, assuming Elon, and then basically open it back up and then make it public, IPO, sell a bunch of Twitter again, and then make a profit. Like, that's the whole idea. He buys a business to make a bigger profit later. And on his roadmap for path to profit is open sourcing the algorithm, which is basically making Twitter more valuable. It's a Web 3.0 value. So that's pretty significant. So it's going to be an interesting journey to see here. So today is pretty significant for the crypto space. We've got, of course, the Federal Reserve meeting. We'll talk about that here in a second. But one thing I did want to talk about, particularly for development, let's see here. Let's look it up here. So I did see a pretty cool opportunity for developers here. Let's see. I had the tweet pulled on my screen here, but I think I lost it. So one way, one way it's great for developers to, make money in the space is basically to contribute to open source protocols. Like, that's one of the cool things about crypto is it's very open source place. Like, you got protocols that have grants that are just like, hey, we got money, we need a task done, like, do this task, we'll pay you to do it. So I was going to pull up a resource on that. Let me see if I can find it. I had it on my Twitter, but I lost it. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So basically, Optimism is back with another drop. They're talking about, Optimism airdrop, but this time is Optimistic is announcing a stim pack, a 231 million Optimism fund, 5.4% of the total supply for projects on Optimism. So Optimism token holders' first job will be to review and vote on asks for funding by the community for the community. So basically, they're going to do this for projects that are already, doing well in Optimism, okay? But we're also talking about basically, new projects, okay? So this is really good for the entire development space for a couple reasons. I mean, one is for, experienced developers already who want to create something and maybe even put together a team. There's demand for this, okay? The other thing is if you want to work on an established team, like we're just seeing all this space just completely expand, and that's really good for the entire, developer space. 'Cause at the end of the day, that's what I want to help you all do on this channel is, uh, prosper from the opportunity in this industry with your technical skills, whatever that is that you do. Is it you get a job? Is it that you become a freelancer? Is it create your own project? Doesn't matter. That's where the big opportunity in crypto is right now. Of course, for the long term, quite bullish on cryptocurrencies and where they are headed. But especially right now, like when everybody's portfolio is kind of in the toilet, when the JPEGs are down, all that type of stuff. That's one of the reasons I'm so keen on, basically having hard technical skills, because even when the markets are down, there's still a ton of demand for tech talent in the space. Blockchain is still one of the highest paying fields in tech, if not the highest paying. The demand's absolutely insane because some people want to create the next generation Web 3.0 applications, and the supply of people who know how to do that stuff is still really small. And the other reason is like you've got stuff like this, you've got all these funds that are going around like crazy. Like anytime an airdrop happens, it creates a new money out of thin air that has market value. Okay. And that stuff can be used to go build new projects in the space out of these treasuries. And a lot of that goes straight into developers' pockets. So that's huge for developer demand in this space. So definitely go check that out. And you can do all that stuff with the exact skills that I teach you on this channel, which is, basically Ethereum stack, which can be used in multiple environments. The only reason I'm so big on Ethereum stack is, first and foremost, Ethereum's the biggest innovator in this space in terms of new technologies. But then if you don't want to end up putting an app on the Ethereum mainnet for gas fees or whatever reason, then there's so many places you can take an Ethereum app and put it. You can put it on Polygon, you can put it on any EVM compatible chain, Avalanche, doesn't matter, any Ethereum layer 2. Like that core skill set is insanely diverse, insanely potent, I'll put it that way. So am I talking about optimism round one? No, I'm not talking about optimism round one. We've already had the optimism round one. The big airdrop that I was talking about today is for Hop Protocol. So this is like a lot of project clones. How can you combine two project clones together? Well, basically, you take their core value proposition, you got to mash them up. Okay, so let's look at what's going on in the crypto space today. So today's gonna be a big day for all markets because we've got the conclusion of the Federal Reserve meetings. The Federal Reserve meets several times a year to talk about what it's going to do with interest rates, different economic factors, monetary policy, all the type of stuff. What's it going to do with quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, blah, 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 blah. A bunch of complicated economic stuff. But, like I said, I don't pretend to be a macroeconomics expert on this channel by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't take a genius to realize that inflation's a problem, that pretty much all asset prices are down, and that, a lot of what the Fed says and does has a tremendous impact on that, okay? And so basically today, we're going to get news about what the Fed is planning to do with interest rates, the rate at which, people borrow money, which has a huge impact on how people spend, especially on expensive assets, about what people are doing for growth. What happens with the housing market? What happens with this? How do people use leverage? Okay. And so basically, the expectation is that the Fed is going to increase rates by 50 basis points, which basically means, like 0.5%, basically. So some people say, like, why do they say basis points? I got that question recently. Part of it's like, so that it's clear, like why, like what it is. Because if you were saying a 1% increase or a 10% increase or something like that, like you don't know if that means, increasing the rate from well, 1.5% to 11.5%. But if you're talking about comparison from the number, like the 10% increase from 1% is 1.1%. So I think a part of it's just like a standardized language so that it's clear and unambiguous. So anyways, that's what 50 basis points means. It means 0.5%. So if you have a 50 basis point hike from 1%, that's 1.5%. So anyways, that's what we're talking about. And so I think that's what people are expecting to happen. And so the real question is, what's going to happen to the crypto markets? What's going to happen to all markets? That is, the $1 million question for a lot of people. It's really hard to say. What do I think the possible range of outcomes are? Of course, I'm not just looking at crypto markets right now, because in my opinion, crypto is what's going on with crypto prices. The current bear market that we are a part of is not really a crypto problem, in my opinion. Okay, it's a bigger problem with the economy, and I think the reflection of that's what's going on in the stock market. It's all assets are looking like basically the same. So, in the short term, it's really hard to say what's going to happen. I see a few scenarios. Like, one is, the Fed basically meets people's expectations that a 50 basis point hike's going to happen. So if a 50 basis point hike's going to happen, is the market going to go down? It still could go down, and it still could go down for a while before we start to see some sort of recovery. I think a lot of people are hopeful that things will meet expectations and the market will get some sort of relief. That's kind of what happened at the last meeting. But there's also the possibility that they back off and say it's not going to be 50 basis points. I don't think that's going to happen. They're probably going to at least meet expectations. We'll see. I'd love to be wrong. Love to come to the live stream tomorrow and be like, hey, guys, I was totally wrong about that. And then there's the possibility that it's worse than people think it's going to be. I don't think that's going to happen either, but I don't want to be wrong about that one, but it very well could be. So I think a lot of people are hoping, fingers crossed, that the Fed is going to act as people think they're going to, and for that reason that the price correction due to raising interest rates is already priced in. That's the hopium here, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you look at like the futures on what people are betting on, almost everybody's betting on a 50 basis point hike. Now that being said, the core question is what's going to happen to the price, assuming that actually happens. It's not necessarily going to rally. It could take a while before we see a recovery. And that's just sort of the nature of the game right now. So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen? Somebody thinks it's going to be 0.75 basis points. Somebody says, I remember rates at 10%. The world will not end if it goes to 0.75. Somebody says, fake pump, then dump, then bottom. I'd be okay with that. Now, the real question is, what's going to happen before crypto can find a bottom? I've been watching. One of the theories floating around the space is that crypto needs a final capitulation before we can get bullish again. And if you look at other uptrends in the past, when crypto continued, made higher highs, it was because a lot of those rallies were fueled by buying out of capitulations. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. Part of it's the volume. So this is what a lot of people are talking about. Is basically like, you see these nasty capitulations, which we haven't had yet. Okay, and a lot of people looking at the charts saying, hey, we need one of those before we can get a leg up like this. Now, I think it stands to reason, but now that that theory is kind of floating around in the space, is it one of those things that is now invalidated? It's hard to say. I could see it because, like, you know, every time you see a big explosive move upward, right before it, you see big selling volume. Okay, same type of thing here. Big selling volume, explosive move upward, right? Same thing right here. You have big selling volume, which is kind of indicative of capitulation. And you haven't really had that big spike in selling volume before you have a, you know, explosive move higher. So, there's a lot of people sitting there waiting for that capitulation. We'll see. It's really hard to tell. I think, like I was saying before, now that so many people are expecting it, it very well could just be elusive and not happen. Just like I was saying yesterday in the live stream, sometimes like it's really hard to call tops. It can also be really hard to call bottoms. You know, back here when we saw, you know, very few people were thinking this was a top, and it was not very evident that it was until we kind of came down in here. And so, you know, likewise, like it was, this looked pretty ugly when we were here last summer, right? Like if you're looking at a chart that looks like this and you can't see what, I can't see it on my screen. Let's see here. It looks like that and you can't see what's coming next. That looks like a top, but it ended up not being one. But also, to what I was saying a second ago, a lot of people say that's because we had a capitulation right here and we haven't had one yet. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are we going to dump crypto crab till 2023? Very well could happen. All right, let's check to see what's trending on chain right now. Okay, so I'm gonna look and see what's trending right now. Basically, let's look at our recent inflow. So basically, I'm looking at projects that have been deployed within a certain time frame that have significant financial inflows to them. There's gonna be lots of stuff inside of here. There's gonna be liquidity pools. There's gonna be you know, bridges. There's gonna be new NFT projects, new tokens, all type of stuff. The first one that pops up to me is this one. So this is what I do on a daily basis. I'm just checking the trends on chain to see what's happening there. And then I go like use that as a research point for seeing what new projects are launching that have potential. Okay, so I'm literally just doing my research process live right here. I'm not shilling any of these projects. I'm not giving you financial advice that this is what you need to buy. I'm just like looking at what's there. So let's just go through this process. So this is Oddstronauts NFT. Let's see. This looks like a mint that's happening right now. The reason I think it's an NFT is because it's got the token ticker on there. We can see method mint. It's public, it's live, it's happening right now. So let's check on the due diligence, see what the website is. So here's a Twitter. It's a galactic boba shortage. 10,000 animated astronauts. So it looks like the mint site is live right now. Let's just see here. Yeah. So they got these different traits. So we had multiple launches. Launch in 3D. When mint, how big is the collection? Awesome. So let's see what else is trending here. Let's just see here. We got another NFT project. So the NFT.com Genesis key is still trending. So we saw this yesterday. Okay. So this is definitely one that has gained a little bit of steam. All right. So that's the cool thing to watch is actually you can kind of go back and see when we found this stuff and what's happened since then. Let's just take a look here. Let's see here. So I'm still pulling this up. I'll answer some questions while this is coming up. What mix of skills or traits or characteristics do you feel is a solid Web3 team? Basically, all the regular skills that make up any solid team, but a deep knowledge of Web3. It's like my floor price. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the Genesis key that I was talking about a minute ago was found yesterday. Floor price has already increased by 50%. So that's one big benefit of the tool is you can find out stuff about that's trending before it starts trending in terms of new projects. So basically, what we're doing here is tracking new projects hit the chain that have significant financial inflows to them, using that as a starting point for research. And then there's lots of other stuff you can do with this. You can get real-time alerts. This is one of the most popular features that people are using to research and find your projects and make. We got lots of 2Xs, on a regular basis in our community. People talk about it in the Discord. So you can just see what we checked on this yesterday. The NFT.com Genesis key meant was happening. That's what we saw. And the floor price has already increased 50% since yesterday. And the cool thing about that is, of course, I'm talking about it right now on social media, but you can get access to this with the link down in the description below. That's the big benefit of it is by the time people start talking about it on social media, it's it's later. The opportunity is later. It's not always gone, right? But it's not as early as it could be. But so having that up to date, to the second relevance is the benefit that you get from that tool. So you can sign up with the link down below. So just join what I missed. So we got a big airdrop happening with the HOT protocol. Definitely want to keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't think we'll see if it's too late or not. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a massive shortcut entirely, actually have become a blockchain master step by step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.